All right, Pouring Nation, I came across these Nova Color acrylic paints and I wanted to give them a go to see how they work for acrylic paint pouring. Now, I have a whole playlist where I test different acrylic paints and I will add this video to that. So let's get into it. So one thing I definitely do like about these paints is they come in these tubs, much easier to get all the paint out of them. And this paint is a little more runny than some of the other paints that I've dealt with. Not a ton, but a little bit more runny. You can kind of see it there when I pull them out. But what I like to do here is, again, get a little bit of each of these. I like to see how this mixes. Let's not mix the red with the yellow, that would be bad. Okay, so normally I just test really quickly to see how well each of these mixes. So we'll do the blue, and like I said, they're a little bit more thin than tube paints, so they're more like a medium body. But I like the deep green that I got. That means those colors are nice. It did take a little bit longer to mix, probably because I'm using this small thing, but I like the color that I got there. Now the purple here. So that blue does not tint very much. See how I got brown? You know, I was expecting to get a purple there instead of kind of that maroon color, which I'm not a big fan of. Do I have a phthalo blue? No, just purple. So I kind of wish I had a phthalo blue. So ultramarine blue is tinted kind of toward the red, and phthalo blue is more to the green side. So I'm kind of disappointed at how well this tints. These two, however, make a nice purple, a nice orange. The red tints way more. As you can see, the red just has so much more power. So that being the case, you know, maybe it's not that this is not super heavy, but that the red is just really powerful. Let's just take a little bit of red. Let's get it out of the lid here. Take a big glob of purple, or blue. My mind's on purple for some reason. And let's see how those two mix. So always when you're working with acrylic paint, tinting strength is one of the things that we don't talk about a lot with acrylic pouring, because a lot of people don't mix. They just like the colors that come out because they're so much more vibrant. The more you mix, the less vibrant they get. Not always, but some of the time. So there's a nice purple, and it's hard to see just because it's so deep. Clean that up a little. Grab a little of this white here. Pull a little of that in. Now you see that nice purple color. We can add a little bit more if we wanted. That's not bad. I might get the phthalo blue and maybe a different red. This is the pyrrole red here. And like I said before, the ultramarine blue. So mixing, it mixes pretty well. It's, like I say, it's thinner than other paints, so not necessarily a bad thing, just something you need to keep in mind when you're working on these. So we're going to do a quick test. I have added absolutely no water to these. This is just the paint and Floetrol. And I'm using these are the ones that I created before. I'm using those two. The drip test, they look pretty close, but again, because I haven't worked with these very much, I don't want to trust myself to just the drip test, or just the, drizzling into the, I think my red is just slightly smaller than the rest. So we'll give it another drop. Again, we're just going to let this So I need a tiny bit of water in this one, and I'm talking about tiny bit. I'm just gonna do a couple drops in the red. Maybe a couple drops in the white too. And for this color, I actually mixed both the Indian yellow and the Hansa yellow light because this is transparent. So I wanted to give it a little bit of, they're both transparent, but I wanted to give a little bit of brighter color. I didn't like the orangey and the full yellow, so I did half and half for that. So now, the water all integrated. All right, so now we're going to do a dirty pour. I'm just going to put my cup in here, put a little white in first. I think maybe I want the red. So one thing you will notice, quick, for density, you can tell the white is more dense than the other three because it went smaller. So that means it's sunk in between those. The yellow is the next dense, probably the red the next dense, and then the blue is the lightest, which tracks. That's pretty common for colors like this. I got an 8x8 canvas, and I'm just using my jumbo push pins on the bottom. So now, pour this out. And normally I wouldn't use all the primary colors together, but I want to see how these colors mix. And kind of forcing them to mix brown does help me. One thing I already don't like about this is the white disappeared. And normally I want my white to play a leading role. Some whites are just better than others. And this one is not on the better side, at least not based on what I'm seeing here. What I do like is, look, I got a little bit of cells between the yellow and the blue. I do like seeing that in my cup. Some paints just don't sell very well. Turn my fire up. So far, the white may have disappeared, but I don't have a lot of mud. The yellow, see how it kind of it kind of looks, I don't even know what the word is for it, but it's not, I can't see lines like the red and the blue. I see nice lines. See the red's doing a little bit of this in the blue here, but the yellow does it kind of everywhere. Some people like that look, some people don't. The surface of the paint is pretty smooth. You know, I don't see waves or anything. I see a couple of, and this is just amazing. I love that. So let's, kind of want to keep that. Let me see if I can. Get a little bit of extra paint over here. So when you're tilting off paint, it's gonna hit the canvas and then roll over itself, and that paint will just keep rolling over itself, and I'll lose that beautiful cell action that I have there. And I don't really want that. Kind of want to save it. So we're just going to add a little bit of paint. Let this paint get rolled over instead of the cells. See how it's kind of condensing there? It's kind of what I don't want. See, this way I can keep some of that here with me. See how the very end, it all compresses together, then it hits there's no movement here. So it's just rolling up over on top of each other. That's, if you don't want that to happen, you want to keep the outer edge, you want to put in a base coat. And it's not going to prevent it 100%, but it'll prevent a lot of it from happening. And actually, now that the yellow's opening up, I'm seeing a lot more. Which is good. I was afraid I was going to lose all that. I do want some of that to go over the edge. Let's turn it this way so you can see better. All right, so I've let this sit for a little while, and I wanted to do some experiments to see if I could figure out why I got that weird coloring. And actually, if you notice here, it was the blue that caused that. Now, yes, the white did disappear, and I did not like that, but the blue is what caused most of that. And you see as the blue goes away, and it's just white and yellow, we don't get that here. So, something to keep in mind when using these paints. Otherwise, I think the pigmentation is great. I think the price is very similar to Liquitex Basics, between $1 and $2 an ounce, depending on which paint you get. Some of the pearlescent ones are a little bit more expensive. You can get them on sale, buy 3, get 1 free, which makes them even cheaper. The color selection is actually really good. I actually got let me see if I can find it quick. I actually got this from them. Those are actually dabs of paint that they've done, where you can see all of the different paints. So they have a lot of good paints there, which I love, having a nice selection of paints. I need to get some other blues, again, because I don't really like how this aquamarine blue turned out. It mixed well, again, with the other, and is highly pigmented. So for me, this Nova Color paint would be a upper tier, student level acrylic, lower tier professional paint. And if you can get it on a good deal and maybe pick up some titanium white from Amsterdam or somewhere like that, you could get a great set of paints. So if you have some experience with this type of paint, let me know in the comments below. And you can see my other paint reviews at the video on the screen now.